Starting out weightlifting, especially as a female, can be absolutely terrifying. I can't even tell you how many years I spent going to the gym, wanting to start weightlifting, and then just bolting straight to the treadmill because I was way too afraid to do so. At least at all the gyms I went to, I felt like everyone in the weightlifting section looked super intimidating. Most people in the weightlifting section were usually guys, and I felt super self-conscious. I just didn't want to be looked at or critiqued or judged, so I stuck to what I knew. I went to the treadmill, ran on there or walked on there for like 20 to 30 minutes, found a corner in the gym where no one could see me, grabbed a mat, did a couple ab exercises, and then called it a day and went home because I was just completely terrified to start weightlifting, even though I always really wanted to. Thankfully, I'm at a place now where I'm actually really confident in the gym. I've been weightlifting for the past 2 years and I've learned a lot throughout this process. I by no means was perfect when I started out. I by no means am perfect now. I'm still continuously growing, but I have learned a lot on how to feel confident in the gym, how to build muscle, how to weightlift with proper form, and I just want to share with you guys today a really basic guide to how to start weightlifting, especially as a woman. Okay, I first want to give like a very simple overview of how to structure a weightlifting workout. When I first started out, I thought you just went to the gym, picked up the weights, did a couple exercises, and then went home. But there's actually a lot more organization that goes into weightlifting workouts. There's a lot of things you need to do at the beginning and the end to prevent injury and to make sure you're taking care of your body. So let's just go over that really quick. Before you start actually weightlifting, when you go to the gym, you want to first warm up and stretch. For me personally, I just like to hop on the treadmill from anywhere to like 10 to 15 minutes and walk on an incline or run, jog a little bit. Some people like to do body weight exercises. There's a lot of YouTube videos you can find where people walk you through body weight exercises you can do to warm up your body before doing a weightlifting workout. But the purpose of warming up is just to get the blood in your body flowing, get your heart pumping a little bit, but you don't want to warm up too much to the point where you feel fatigued. After you warm up, you want to feel actually more energized and more ready to pick up the weights. After you warm up, you want to stretch out your body. And then when it comes to actually weightlifting, there's a couple different options you have for how to structure your sets. A set is a group of reps of one exercise that you do in between periods of rest. So for example, let's say you're doing bicep curls. One bicep curl is one rep. And if you do 15 bicep curls in a row, you are doing one set of 15 bicep curls. When I structure my workouts, I usually do anywhere from 4 to 5 sets of one exercise. And then for those sets, you have a few options for what you can do. You can do a straight set, which is basically where you use the same weight and the same number of reps for each set. So you're not increasing the number of reps, you're not increasing the weight, you're keeping everything the exact same, just doing 4 to 5 sets of that. Another option you can take is called a pyramid set, and that is where you increase the weight you're doing each time you do a set, but you decrease the reps. I'll put an example on the screen of what this looks like. Sometimes it just makes sense if you're able to see it visually. But the purpose of this is to help you reach heavier weights. This helps a lot if you're reaching a plateau in your muscle growth. There's also something called a reverse pyramid where you increase the number of reps you do while decreasing the weight you're using. And that helps to build some muscular endurance. It's another way to kind of push over plateaus in the gym. And then you also have the option of doing supersets where you do 2 exercises back to back, which usually involve opposing muscle groups. And then you do those back to back with minimal rest in between. But when you're first starting out, I would recommend to just keep things simple and start with a straight set. When you're doing pyramid sets, reverse pyramid sets, supersets, the purpose of those is to push your body to failure. When you do straight sets, you're able to really hone in on your form and make sure that you're doing the exercise properly. So starting out with straight sets is definitely the way to go. Doing 4 to 5 sets of one exercise, doing anywhere from, I'd say, 8 to 15 reps of each of those sets, and then choosing 5 exercises to do for one workout. And I'll get into what exercises to choose for your workout a little bit later on. But after you've done the weightlifting chunk of your workout for the day, definitely take the time to cool down your body and stretch a little bit. I totally can tell the difference in my body on days when I forgot to stretch after I weightlifted. I always feel really uncomfortably sore, or I feel like I did something wrong and tweaked something in my body. So take the time to stretch a little bit. All right, now moving on to what equipment to use in the gym. There's a lot of equipment in most gyms, and it can be really daunting and intimidating trying to choose which ones to use, how to use each of them. So let me give a little bit of guidance on that. When you're starting out, you cannot go wrong with using some good old-fashioned dumbbells. A lot of people have dumbbells at home because they're really small. You can do a lot of exercises with them. So maybe you can start doing some dumbbell workouts at home, and then as you get more confident, you can start using them in the gym and building yourself up to using other equipment. Another thing about dumbbells that's nice is that they're really portable, so you can go to a corner in the gym where you feel like no one's looking at you and no one's judging you, and you can do your thing with your dumbbells. Once you get comfortable with dumbbells, I would recommend going on to using some smaller, really simple machines, such as a leg extension machine, a leg curl machine, a leg abduction machine, a chest press machine. The thing I love about machines is that it's really easy to add on and take off weight. Most machines are structured the same in terms of how to add on weight. They usually have a big row of all the different weights you can use, and then a little peg that you can do to choose the amount of weight you want to have. After you got comfortable with your dumbbells and your small machines, I would recommend going on to a cable machine. It took me a while to learn how to use a cable machine, but once I got comfortable with it, I fell in love because they are so versatile. You can do so many cool exercises with them. What I like about the cable machine and all machines in general is that they usually have some type of diagram on them for how to use them. So if you're confused on what exercise to do, if you don't know what form to have or how to use the machine, they usually or almost always have a diagram for what you should look like when you're doing that exercise. Moving on to the Smith machine. The Smith machine is basically like a squat rack, but it has a built-in spot, so you don't have to have someone behind you. Kind of have a love-hate relationship with the Smith machine. It's really, really good for beginners. It allows you to get comfortable with doing exercises like squats with the bar on your back. Gives you kind of the feel of a regular squat rack, but allows you to have that extra element of safety and protection. But the thing I don't like about it is that people can get really comfortable with the layout of a Smith machine. On most Smith machines, you aren't able to move the bar backwards and forwards. So when you get to a regular squat rack after doing exercises on a Smith machine for a while, you don't really know how to balance the bar on your back or how to do those regular exercises without the spot because you're used to just staying in the same place. I would say if you are getting started, definitely try out the Smith machine. I think it's a great place to start, but don't get comfortable on there. Once you feel like you're ready, move on to the squat rack. Don't allow yourself to stay stagnant on the Smith machine. After you've conquered the Smith machine, you can move on to barbells. A barbell is similar to a bar you would see on a squat rack, but it has a set amount of weight already built into it. What's helpful about these for beginners is that you don't have to worry about taking on and off weight to the bar. You don't have to worry about using those confusing little clippy things to make sure that the weight is set properly in place. You just walk over to the rack where the barbells are, pick it up, do your your thing and then put it back. So it's a lot more convenient and allows beginners just to feel a little bit more comfortable using bars for certain bar exercises. After barbells, you can move on to bigger machines. A major big machine would be the leg press machine. I remember when I first started weightlifting, I always was really envious of people who could use the leg press machine because it always looked like a spaceship to me and it just looked really scary. But those big machines like that, where there's a lot more weight and they're a lot more confusing, definitely move on to those once you feel comfortable enough to do so. And then finally, the infamous squat rack. If you've been able to conquer all the machines, have been able to conquer using barbells, dumbbells, cable machine, you should feel confident enough to go to the squat rack. One thing to keep in mind about a squat rack is that most bars are 45 pounds. Some gyms are different, but most bars on a squat rack are 45 pounds. So if you aren't comfortable doing a squat with a 45-pound bar, if you aren't comfortable doing a chest press with a 45-pound bar, start with the Smith machine because you're going to be able to do those same exercises but with a lighter weight. And then once you reach that 45-pound mark, definitely go off to the squat rack. Okay, now that we've talked about what machines to use and what equipment to use in the gym, let's talk about what exercises you can do. So when you're first starting out weightlifting, compound movements are gonna be your friend. It's gonna allow you to get the most bang for your buck. A compound movement is an exercise that requires you to use more than one muscle group. A great way to separate your workouts when you're first starting out is by doing upper body workouts one day and then lower body workouts another day. My favorite lower body workouts that you really can't go wrong with include squats, lunges, deadlifts, the leg press machine, and then Bulgarian split squats. My favorite upper body compound movement exercises include a dumbbell row, a lat pull down, push-ups, chest press, and then overhead barbell press. As you get more comfortable in the gym, you can definitely work on isolating specific muscle groups, but again, when you're first starting out, compound movements are definitely the way to go. Alrighty, let's now talk about workout plans or your split. A split is basically a way to structure your workouts each day so that you work on one muscle group while recovering another. So for example, my personal favorite split to follow right now includes a pull day, glute and hamstring day, a push day, glute and quad day, a full body day, and then a cardio and ab day. And a split is laid out weekly. So it goes over what exercises you do each day of the week. You always want to make sure to have one day completely off for the week to allow your whole body to recover. But then also getting into specific muscle groups, you want to allow one muscle group to recover as you work another and allow one day in between working a muscle group over again. So let's say Monday you did some type of leg exercise. You're not going to go back to the gym Tuesday and do more leg exercises because your muscles aren't going to be able to recover and rebuild themselves. That's what the major appeal is to a split. It allows you to work on certain muscle groups while recovering the others. When you're choosing what type of workout plan or what type of split to follow, you really want to make sure that you individualize it to your goals. A lot of different people put workout plans out there, they put their splits out there, but something to keep in mind is that your needs are not going to be the same as anyone else's needs. So just be honest with yourself in what your goals are. If you're, like for example, for me, I want to grow my glutes, so I have 2 days dedicated to glutes each week. But if your goal is to build more upper body strength, then maybe focus more on your upper body strength than your lower body strength when you're planning your workout for the week. When you're starting out, it might be really helpful to follow along to another person's plan though. I know for me personally, when I first started out, I liked following along to what another person already laid out for me because it gave me a lot more confidence when I went to the gym. It made me feel like I had a lot more purpose when I was there and that I wasn't just there figuring it all out on my own. I actually had someone that I was following and that was telling me how to do everything with the proper form. I posted a couple workout routine videos, so you're always welcome to watch those and follow along to what I like to do on a weekly basis. A lot of other YouTubers have posted their own, a lot of people on Instagram post their own, so definitely do a little bit of research. Definitely don't feel afraid to plan it yourself and just to do your own thing. But if you're starting out, following along to another person isn't gonna hurt. Okay, let's now move on to gym etiquette. Just some basic rules to follow no matter what type of gym you're in. Some things that are just kind of courteous and expected. Always put back your equipment. If you're using the squat rack or the Smith machine, put back the plates. If you're using dumbbells, put them back where you found them. Also, wipe down the machines or the equipment you're using. Another thing that no one taught me, but I kind of just picked up on my own. If you're in a really crowded gym, let's say you're at a really coveted machine like the squat rack, and you're doing something that you could easily do with a lighter weight in a different area that isn't as sought after, always do that. So for example, if you're wanting to do Bulgarian split squats, you can easily do that exercise with dumbbells by a bench in another area of the room. You don't have to reserve a whole squat rack to do Bulgarian split squats. So like in instances like that, allow someone who really needs a squat rack to do really heavy squats to use it instead of you. It's just kind of like the nice, courteous thing to do. Also, if you're at a gym that's really busy, try not to use more than one machine at a time. I was talking about supersets before, where you do 2 exercises back to back. That might require you to use 2 machines back to back. That isn't a big deal if the gym isn't really busy and no one else is wanting to use one of those machines at the same time as you. But if the gym's really busy and you can see that another person wants to use that machine you're using, you don't have to use both of those machines at the same time. Just do one machine, do your thing, and then move on to the other and allow another person to take that machine. Okay, now let's talk about how to build confidence, how to feel comfortable in the gym. You're gonna hear this in probably every single weightlifting video you'll find on YouTube, but it really is important to remind yourself that everyone has to start somewhere. You might be really intimidated by all those people who are able to do bicep curls with 45-pound dumbbells, but I can guarantee you that those people did not start out using that weight and looking like that. If you can only do a bicep curl with a 5 or 3-pound weight right now, that is totally fine. Another thing to keep in mind is that not as many people are staring at you or judging you as you think. I feel like it's a pretty common thing to feel like when you're doing an exercise, everyone's judging your form or critiquing you or staring at you secretly. But at least for me, when I go to the gym, I'm there to do my workout, do it as quickly as I can, and then leave. I'm not there to stare at other people or critique them and judge them. So just keep that in mind whenever you feel like people are judging you and judging your form. Also, if there really are people there who are giving you dirty looks or glaring at you in a weird way, something to keep in mind is that this journey is about you. When you are in the gym, you are there to work on yourself. Those people who are sitting there judging you do not matter. They are not the people who are going to benefit from the work you're putting into this. This is a journey you are going on with yourself, so you really have to just not care about what other people are thinking or saying to you. Something that always helps me feel a little bit more confident in the gym is planning out what I'm going to do before I get there. It just allows me to go in with a plan and not feel like I'm just like floating around trying to figure out what to do. I go in, I know what I'm doing, I do it, and then I feel good about what I'm doing. It also always really helps me if I play some good music. I know it sounds small, but I swear listening to some good music as you work out can really hype you up and make you feel a little bit more confident as you're working out. When you're starting out, it might be a good idea to go with a buddy. You can go with a friend, family member, coworker, whatever it is. I know when I was starting out, when I went with someone else, I just felt a lot more confident and I felt a lot less alone and scared. Okay, I think that's everything I had to share today. The sun is kind of going down, so I guess I'll wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it until the end, I really hope that it helped you in some way, made you feel a little bit more confident and ready to get in the gym and start this journey or continue this journey if you already started it. Again, be sure to subscribe down below if you liked this or any of my other videos, and leave some comments down below if you have any questions about weightlifting, if you have any questions about living a healthy lifestyle as a college student, have any suggestions or whatever. I would love to chat with you down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Alright, bye!